It's been a minute, I know. It's been a couple of weeks since I've last made a video here, and the only reason I haven't made a video is because I've become a little bit more interested in some other things in my life. Not to say that I've lost interest in YouTube, it's just that there are some new hobbies that I'm re-pursuing after a long time that I've just been having fun with. One of those being getting back into programming after hours. So if you've all been seeing my videos for a little bit, you know that most of the time I was just doing my programming work at work. I'm a software engineer by day, I guess you can say. And usually when I came home, I would pursue other hobbies just because I thought, well, frankly, it was just maybe a more better way to live a balanced life, let's say, right? I get to do my work and then I come back and explore other hobbies like YouTube, or maybe I get to play some video games, just relax and watch TV, and not necessarily worry so much about the day-to-day studying of something else related to my job. Well, recently I was looking at, let's say, the industry as a whole, and I realized that, if I want to continue staying in this industry, like a lot of other professional industries, just let me move my mic here so it doesn't fall. Like a lot of other professional industries, like think law or medicine, I better be somewhat prepared and stay on top of things. So many years ago, I think it's been like 2 years now, I registered for a service called boot.dev. I'm not affiliated with boot.dev in any way, but it's effectively a platform that teaches people how to get really good at backend engineering, and at least teaches you things that are relevant in that field and allows for people to practice in the platform, talk to other people that are like-minded. And the best thing is the people that developed the website are people that I trust a lot, developers that I trust a lot based on their videos, the things that they talk about. So I'm really enjoying myself there. I'm learning a lot about AI and Python and Go and HTTP clients and servers, and I'm just gonna have a lot of fun with it. Okay, but that's the reason I've been a little bit lacking on the YouTube videos, because I've just been pouring a lot of my time after work into coding. Maybe I'll make some videos about that. But today's topic that I want to talk about, because I remembered this, there was a guest on Joe Rogan, I forget his name now, but he's the director of the FBI, Kash Patel maybe, for some reason that name is in my head, might be his name. And he said a line in one of his podcast episodes recently that really struck with me, and it's something about him being a director and him effectively having to step out of the way to allow for his, let's say, employees to do their best work. And this is the topic I want to talk about today, because as you know, if you've seen a couple of my videos, I've always been a little bit on the fence of whether or not I want to pursue management or whether I want to stay as an individual contributor. Now, I myself spoke to the director of engineering on the team that I work on, and he mentioned that you don't have to be a manager to inspire people or lead people or influence people. Those things that have historically been attributed to management don't necessarily need to only be for managers. You can still influence and lead and direct really at whatever level you're at. Okay, and the thing here that it made me realize that, I don't necessarily need to be a manager to be able to do the things that I want to do. And I feel like if I want to be the best type of leader, I should do what this person said. And I feel like, get out of the way. Okay, I do feel like sometimes the best leaders are the ones that help and get out of the way. And let me explain a little bit about that, okay? I think that ultimately, like, I've heard a lot of stories about kids, or let's say individuals that remember their parents fondly or have very good memories of their parents, right? And a large, or something big that I see come up time and time again, is that they feel supported. It doesn't necessarily mean that your parent's a helicopter parent, or that they will necessarily always be there for you or do everything for you, but when it matters most, they are there for you to support you. And I think that the manager is the same way. I don't think that a great manager needs to be on top of his or her employees all the time, but I think they definitely need to show some support when it does matter. So it matters during really tough times, right? When I don't know what I'm doing, I'm struggling to find a solution. It also matters during the good times. When something good goes well, let your employees know effectively and concisely the things that they did well, right? And apart from that, just step out of the way. Let them explore, let them become curious, let them make mistakes on their own in an environment that you create as a manager to be safe. I know it sounds kind of fluffy, a safe space, but I think a safe space means if you can show your employees that it's okay to fail, it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to try new things, and you also don't micromanage them, then I think it will give them that autonomy and assurance that they need, which typically produces really happy employees in my point of view. Okay, I feel like if I were to ever have a team of my own, I would just want to make it known very early that yes, I'm here for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean, I'm not going to do everything for you. I'm not going to do your job for you, but if you need help, I will be here. And I think by me giving them that assurance, it'll just create happier employees, and happier employees tend to do better. Okay, so if you're a manager and you feel like maybe you're putting the gas, you're pressing the gas too much, as in you're hovering over your employees, sometimes what happens is, I think employees will get a sense that maybe you don't trust them, you don't feel like they have what it takes, and that might actually it might make them feel inferior to others, because they feel like, man, this manager's always on me. Like, why can't they just trust me? And maybe change your method to, instead of always being on top of them, to, release a little bit, let go a little bit, and see what they do on their own. Maybe intervene at certain times when you feel like it's important, or of course if they reach out. But apart from that, let someone else just flourish on their own. I think that's like so important. So that's pretty much just a very quick little tidbit I want to talk about today. Just management in general, I think you should do your job well and then get out of the way. Bring support where you need. Because at the end of the day, I think as a manager, think of me as a software engineer, right? Right now, as an individual contributor, I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the weeds of it. I'm in the trenches. I understand the code better probably than some managers, not because they don't have the ability to reason or think about the code, but because they've just been sort of away from it for a while, right? So my job as a manager is not to help individual contributors that have been doing this, for months and months on end, knowing way more about it than I ever will. My job is to provide support where needed, provide the best job that I can do as a manager, and then get out of the way to unblock that person, right? Unblock the individual contributors and allow them to do their best work. Right? Give them what they need so that they're happy and productive and don't have to worry about anyone else, because that's my job as a manager. My job as a manager is not to write the code, to reason about the code, to think about the code, I think to some extent though, like as an engineering manager, it's definitely good to be technical. You definitely want to be able to give insights and feedback where necessary, but overall, just get out of the way and make it easy for your employees to work. So I'm here in the garage and I'm holding my camera because recently my phone not blew up, but my phone was like destroyed in the past couple of days. I had to get a new phone. I was almost going to upgrade to the iPhone 16. I have an iPhone 13. And I was like, you know what? Let me just get the replacement because it costs $100. And it's way cheaper than having to pay for an entirely new phone. Those phones now are going for $1,000 brand new. So I'm like, yeah, let me save the $900, right? I'll invest $100. I'll get a replaced phone. It's pretty much just refurbished. But the reason I'm holding it is because I have the same setup, but I bought a new case. And the case, let's say, is not as grippy. It's really good for a person like me that drops their phone a lot, but I guess for the tripod, it's not good. I still have my old case, so maybe I'll use that old case when I'm using the tripod. But I'm just holding this so that the phone doesn't fall. And that's sort of what I'm dealing with now. But man, it is great to have a phone back. You don't realize how much you need your phone until you don't have it. And I was sad without it, I'm not gonna lie. I have no shame in saying that. I missed my YouTube. I loved watching YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I have YouTube Premium. It's the only premium service that I actually pay for. So you can tell that it's something that really means a lot to me. So I missed having it. So getting a phone back, even a refurbished one, was just a freaking breath of fresh air. And I'm just so happy to have it back and just happy to be back in here recording. And I'm going to try now to be doing multiple things at the same time. A lot of times it's difficult to prioritize 3 different things. Let me back up here because there's someone that's like kind of on my tail. It's hard to prioritize 3 different things. A lot of times it's like one of those things where you do 2 things and you're gonna have to pick one thing to sacrifice. There's something in software engineering called the CAP theorem that you can only either get consistency, availability, or partitioning, fault tolerance, right? You have to pick 2 out of the 3 things. And I feel like this is an example of that, where I have to either pick like health and programming or health and YouTube, and one of them has to fall to the side. But I'm going to try really hard not to let that happen, because frankly I want to do all 3 things and hopefully do them in a way that is compelling and fun for you all to watch and good for me to also learn and grow as a person. So anyway, with all that said, I feel like I've spoken a lot. I'm back here on YouTube. I'm going to Orlando this weekend and hopefully be making some cool videos over there, just a different type of scenery. So I hope to see you all there. Hope you all have a great Tuesday, and hope you all have a great rest of your week. Hopefully I'll be making more videos in the future, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in. Later.